No, 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 no.
Stay savage, your boy Shino Metro was popping. Today we are back, and this time we're gonna be talking about Black Clover. Yes, the newest episode of Black Clover just dropped. We got Black Clover episode 45. I had to make sure I was on the right episode because I remember last time we covered 44, and that was like a really hype episode because they really had some decent animations in there from Manga and Look. And mind you, I was really excited about what was happening because, you know, I read the manga, so I'm already up to date on everything that is actually transpiring. And the fact that I got to see my boy Manga and Look actually go ham and go toe to toe with my boy Vetto, you know, and actually exert their dominance on him just slightly, you know, and also have to see it welly animated was really dope. Now, there's like a few nicks and picks that I have to talk about for today's episode regarding animation because, like, if you guys look when Gauche was partnered up with Gray and stuff like that, you know, obviously Gray's identity got confirmed today. Like, we actually saw what she looks like in the anime versus like in the manga. You know, a lot of people that already read it, we already know what she looked like. You know, we were already aware of her true self, but like, you know, her true self got revealed today, so a lot of people that are anime only watchers got to see that. But like outside of that, like, you know, because that was a bit off topic, but like the animation for today's episode was really weird when it got to Gauche and, like, you know, the guy with the chains and stuff like that, as well as, like, you know, when it was like tied up during the violence. I was just looking at it and I was like, yo, what is actually going on? Like, I understand, you know, this is a new anime, so, you know, we can kind of bear with it, but it just gave me those Dragon Ball Super vibes when Dragon Ball Super first got introduced. I don't know if you guys remember when, like, they was originally doing the Battle of the Gods, redoing that animation and how bad it was, and a lot of people were complaining. But looking at Black Clover, saying this is supposed to be like a new anime, this is supposed to be something hype, why is the animation looking like that bad? Like, it was very disappointing. You know, obviously I'm going to talk about more stuff during the review, but like, that's one initial thing that I wanted to point out. You know, I love Black Clover, I read the manga a lot, but like that animation, you know, obviously it was just really like worn out, and I was just like, yo, what is actually going on? You know, it looked like something I actually drew. You know, it didn't look like no high level stuff, but I mean, I guess it probably had a lower budget for this episode versus like the last episode we got. It was really nice. I would say it was actually on par with Lich versus Yami. It was a very fine and nicely tuned, you know, animated episode that we had for 44. So that probably could be what it is. You know, they probably lowered the budget for this episode a little bit more. That way, when they actually get into the next fight sequence, you know, obviously Asta and Kaido popped up, and then we have, you know, Kaido's sister as well as Noelle. She actually pops up. You know, you see those two, they're actually starting to get in the mix of the fight now. So I guess they're like saving their budget for when the fight reaches its climax, because I mean, you can't have that type of animation in a main series fight, because then everybody else is gonna be looking like, what the heck? Because like the guys that we did see like get encounter Gauche and stuff like that, you know, obviously one of them that like tried to run up on Vanessa, they were all like, you know, just side people of Midnight Sun. These were no major characters from Midnight Sun. Like, if you guys actually read the manga, you guys know who's like the major character, who's the main person here, because like Vetto is like the only person that's like really important to like what's actually taking place in the manga and what's actually taking place in terms of Midnight Sun, because everybody else is just kind of like side characters. You know, they're not really like that detrimental to the series. They don't really impact it that well. So I guess that's probably why, you know, this was like one of those fall there episodes you just throw it to the side. But aside from that, we have, you know, Luck and my boy Magna. After they did their combination technique, I was just like, yo, okay, this is lit. But like, it was just depressing because like I already knew, but it was like to see it and like to feel the emotion behind it, because you could hear the emotion in the characters' voices. It was one of those things where it was like, I just felt so bad for Luck and Magna because they really put their heart and soul into this attack. They put their heart and soul into this move just to not even like leave a scratch on this man Vetto. And that's the thing with Vetto. Vetto is a very devastating character. He's very scary. He's not somebody that you necessarily want to toy around with. You know, you want to kind of get the job done, you know, and it was something that, you know, we saw him not be able to actually like put a dent into him. Obviously, you know, he gave them the rights to fight back, and that's something he even spoke about. I wanted to see you guys' power, but you guys are still insects. And this guy has like this mad like macho man complex. He's like, if you ain't got no strength, you ain't shit. And it's just like, whoa bro, whoa, like chill out. I get it, you hurt, who hurt you, like relax. And that's something we also see carried on when Kaido and my boy Asta pulls up. You know, Asta and Kaido were actually like, you know, doing some really nice combinations. And I'll say for that part of the episodes, you know, this animation was pretty decent. You know, it wasn't like amazing, but it wasn't like super subpar. There was like this one little moment with Asta, you know, I was looking, I was like, oh, it looked kind of wonky, but like as it continued, you know, you actually saw how like smooth it was and how like well it went to with the show, you know what I'm saying? And then like you saw these two actually like use combinations, and then, you know, both of them spoke upon how they never fought each other with full powers. Like, oh, so you you weren't fighting full power. And he was like, yeah, you have another sword. Mind you, Kaido's been using 2 swords this whole time against Asta. And, you know, Asta was just only fighting with the 1 sword. And then he actually pulled it out because, you know, obviously Vito's a stronger threat. And, you know, Vito was just like, yo, I'm about to make you feel this pain. And that was like something that was like really like hitting home, because it was like, you know, when Lich actually talks about how he cares for his like friends and he cares about the people that are actually working about him, he talks about how they're important to him, how they're all his friends, and how he wants to like avenge them and stuff like that. And to see him actually get hurt by somebody and to see them turn around and actually try to, you know, basically inflict the same type of pain back onto Asta due to the fact that Lich was getting hurt, it was really dope. Because, you know, you saw Lich when Sally was hurt, he was like, how dare they harm you, or how dare they put their hands on you and stuff like that. They'll pay for hurting my friends or hurting my comrades, you know what I'm saying? So that was something we saw early on, and this was something that kind of connected with that, and I thought that was really cool because, you know, obviously Lich is somebody who cares about the people that are around him, obviously for his own goals and his own purposes, but it still like shows how much their loyalty relies with this man, because it's like, all right, so you were the one that actually put the pause on my dude, so like, you know, I'm gonna just run my fate on you, because like, you know, the biggest principles for me is loyalty, honesty, and respect, and that's something that I actually saw, you know, this man Vito keep like to Lich, and Lich also keeps the same amount. Not to mention Lich just got confirmed for Black Clover Quartet Knights, so this also reminded me of that and stuff like that too. So it was one of those things where I was like dumb excited, I was dumb hyped actually just to see him all like just be there for Lich and want to actually avenge Lich and basically make Asta feel that same pain. As far as things go, you know, right now I already know what's really going to transpire, but it's like, you know, seeing it all take place. Obviously we have Finral, who's like always in the background being scary. He's literally like, oh, what's going to happen if I either fight this man, I'm going to die, or if I don't fight this man, Captain Yami's going to kill me later, so it's either way I'm going to die. And then we had like, you know, Grace, she came through, you know, she actually with the crab, you know, she actually used her like transformation technique to actually like turn this fucking rock into some food or whatever, and then she actually got Charmy to wake up, but Charmy just devastated. Like when Charmy comes through, it's so much of like a comedic character. She's literally that fan service character. That's why I like Charmy a lot, because like she'll just be casually just minding her business, something relating food, she just pops off and it's like, pop off young queen, pop off young queen. Like she literally does what she's supposed to do. You know, obviously that was just kind of body bagging, you know, that person. Obviously in the beginning we saw, you know, Gauch actually struggle, you know, and then she pulled up as the crab and, you know, she helped him out with that. But like in terms of the fight with Asta and them, you know, it's one of those things where we see Vito actually like talking down on the principles that Asta stands for. You know, Asta talks about how he wants to protect all his friends, and then, you know, Vito basically telling him why he's weak. You know, he was telling him you have no magic, you don't have no magical use against projectiles because the fact that you don't have no mana and stuff like that. And he talks about how you can't reinforce like your abilities with your combat and stuff like that because you don't have no mana. And then he like just kind of like beats Asta down. But to see Noelle and Kaido's sister pull up, you know, that was really dope, because then we have Noelle, somebody who's literally getting like some of the best development she's gotten the whole entire series, pull up, because now she's going to start to utilize the magic abilities that she have. You know, she's going to be a little bit more useful to the Black Knight, I mean the Black Bulls. I said the Black Knights. The Bible said the Black Clover Quarter Knights, but the Black Bulls. Like she literally comes through and she lets us know like, hey, you know, I'm not going to just sit here in the background and be this weak character that you guys just sit there and see like, you know, being completely useless. I'm gonna actually put in some work, you know, I'm gonna do some things and I'm gonna actually grow. And that's one thing I liked about this arc, you know, the fact that she was able to learn how to control her magic a little bit more, and now we're gonna see her implement that in and actually try to help Asta out and, you know, try to do the best to defend her friend, and actually I would say the person that she loves, because, you know, she's starting to build that strong like for Asta, and it's starting to turn into other things, because, you know, you see when like other girls actually approach Asta, or you see in other situations she gets kind of butthurt that Asta acknowledges other women more, or he's always talking about he's gonna see sister and stuff like that. So she was like curious to who that is, and it's like, yo, you're starting to see them two start to develop this better bond, and you guys will actually see what I'm talking about a little bit further in this, I wouldn't say this arc, because it might be a little bit after season 1, because if I'm not mistaken, Black Clover is only going up to episode 50, then it's going to take a break, and then we're going to get a season 2, and then that's when we're going to get everything we're trying to actually see, you know. But as far as everything's going right now, I'm gonna honestly say the animation was kind of subpar for the most part in this episode. I feel like a lot of things could have been handled a little bit differently, a lot better in my personal opinion. If you have your own personal opinion about that, let me know. And then mind you, you know, Black Clover is still a new series, so they don't have a lot of funds right away. You know what I'm saying? They're getting there. They're starting to sell manga. You know, they're making a game. They're getting a mobile game. And then, you know, obviously, you know, the TV show is progressing. So obviously they're going to start to build up and ramp up things. And not to mention, they just had one of like the nicest fights in Black Clover, which would be Luck versus Vetto and Manga. And then mind you, Lich versus Yami and all of the captains pulled up. Those were some of like the best fights in the series. Like those fights took a lot of animation, a lot of work. And that's what we seen with Luck versus Vetto and then Magna pulling up. So that was really dope. So I assume that since the budget was probably so high that now like they're into this next episode, they had to like minimize it just a little bit to the bare minimum. And then mind you, Gosh was fighting like these side ass characters, so you can't really be upset about that to a certain degree. But I just wanted to point it out, like, because I know other people are going to notice it and they're gonna be like, oh well, you didn't talk about this. And I mean, mind you, I did notice it. It didn't bother me as much because it was filler characters, kind of, to say, because like when you see characters from Midnight Sun, you know who's important. You know, when you see like people like Fauna, or you see like, you know, people like Lich, you see people, I'm trying not to spoil, people like Sally, people like Vados, like you see these type of people and you know these people are like important to like the group. When you see like these certain characters with like these grungy faces or like these goofy looking powers and stuff like that, you know they're not really important. And that's kind of what we had today, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, you know, they're actually doing really well in leading up into the climax of fighting against the boy Vetto. But with that being said, you know, that's my personal opinions on that. If you have your own personal opinions about today's episode and you enjoyed the review, make sure you leave a thumbs up. Also leave your personal comments and your personal opinions in the comment section. Like I said, you're entitled to your opinion just like I'm entitled to mine. We can agree to disagree. And with that being said, finally, my name is Shino Ben Trill. Stay true and stay real. Until next time, see you guys later. Bye.